I caught my husband and sister plotting my divorce through an air vent, so I planned my own surprise. The test was still in my hand. 2 pink lines. I was standing in my own bathroom, in my own house, shaking like it was 30 degrees outside instead of a warm September evening, and that's when I heard my husband's voice through the old vent above our bedroom closet, low, careful, the kind of careful you only get when someone doesn't want to be heard. She doesn't even suspect anything. We just need 6 more months. Get through the holidays, get through the refinance, and then I file. And then, my sister's voice answered him. 6 months, Danny, that's all. Then it's you, me, and this house. I stood there, positive test in one hand, phone in the other, and in that moment, I stopped being the woman they thought I was. My name is Rachel. I was 31, married for 4 years to Danny. We had the classic suburban setup. 4 bedrooms, a 2-car garage, a golden retriever, and an hole that find you if your trash can stayed out past PM. We looked like the couple on the Christmas card. And for a long time, I believed we were. My sister, Lauren, is 2 years younger than me. Prettier in that effortless way, funnier at parties. She moved into our finished basement 18 months earlier after her own messy divorce, rent-free, just until she gets back on her feet, Danny had said. I agreed without a second thought. I trusted her with my life. Looking back now, I think that's where it started. Not with some grand, passionate affair, just proximity. 2 people who saw each other every single day while I was working 60-hour weeks trying to make partner at my firm downtown. That Tuesday, I'd left work early. I had a feeling in my gut I couldn't shake, and I was 3 weeks late. I bought the test on the way home and sat in my driveway for 10 minutes before going inside. When I saw the results, I remember pressing my hand flat against my stomach, just breathing, trying to figure out how to tell Danny. Then I heard the voices through the vent connecting to the guest room below Lauren's office. At first, I thought it was the TV. Then I heard my name. Rachel's going to be devastated, Lauren said. Not sad, not guilty, almost amused. She'll be fine, Danny answered. She's tough. She always lands on her feet. That's kind of the problem, actually. I stood completely still. My heart wasn't racing. It was just slowing down, getting cold. The refinance closes in November, Danny continued. Once that goes through, the equity's locked in under both our names, clean. After the holidays, I'll tell her it's not working. No affair to point to, nothing messy. She'll take the settlement. We split it fair on paper. And you and I start fresh. And the $401,000. Lauren asked. I already talked to a guy at work. If we time the divorce filing after my bonus vests in January, her half comes out of pre-bonus numbers. She'll never know the difference. I want you to understand something about that moment. It wasn't just the betrayal. It was the math of it. My husband was building a financial exit strategy around my life the way normal people plan a kitchen renovation. I didn't scream. I didn't run downstairs. I didn't throw the test at his head. Instead, I put the test in a Ziploc bag, hid it in my purse, and walked downstairs like nothing happened. I told Danny I had a migraine and was going to bed. He kissed my forehead, called me babe, and asked if I wanted ginger ale. That night, lying next to the man who was planning my exit interview from my own marriage, I made a decision. I wasn't going to cry or beg. I was going to be smarter than both of them combined. The next morning, I called in sick for the first time in 3 years. I drove to a family law attorney in downtown Chicago, a completely different firm from mine where no one would know me. I told her everything. The pregnancy, the vent, the refinance, the $401,000 timing. She looked at me and said, act exactly like nothing happened, and let me handle the rest. Over the next 6 weeks, I became someone I didn't recognize. I made Danny's coffee. I laughed at his jokes at Sunday dinner while Lauren sat across the table pretending everything was normal. But quietly, I was documenting everything. Illinois is an equitable distribution state. If a spouse secretly spends or hides money in anticipation of a divorce, courts care. I checked our joint credit monitoring app, an app Danny forgot I set up 2 years ago. I found a new account at a credit union 2 towns over. Small, quiet deposits. $200 here, $300 there. Building a private cushion. He also brought me the refinance paperwork. It would lock in a lower rate, but more importantly to him, it was meant to clean up the equity split before he dropped the bomb. I told him I needed time to read it over. That's my lawyer wife, he joked. Then came Thanksgiving. We hosted. Lauren brought wine and a smile that honestly looked predatory, knowing what I knew. At one point, my mom asked when Danny and I were finally giving her grandkids. Danny forced a laugh, avoided my eyes, and said, "We're working on it." I just smiled. I was 14 weeks along, and he had absolutely no idea. I never signed the refinance. Instead, my lawyer and I didn't wait for his January bonus. In the first week of December, I filed first. Filing first in our state allowed me to request a freeze on major financial transactions. His little refinance plan? Dead in the water. I also disclosed the pregnancy in the filing. Danny found out he was going to be a father. The same afternoon, he was served divorce papers in front of his entire team. During a PM status meeting, Lauren called me that night. I let it ring for times before picking up. "Rachel, what is wrong with you? You didn't even talk to him first?" "That's interesting," I said, considering he was planning to blindside me at Christmas after locking our home equity into a refinance you'd discussed in my basement. Through my vent, Lauren. Dead silence on the other end. "I know exactly what I heard," I told her. "The 401,000 timing. The part where you said I'd be devastated and you sounded happy about it." She hung up. The day the temporary court order came through granting me exclusive use of the marital home, I sat Lauren down at my kitchen table and gave her 30 days to get out. She asked where she was supposed to go. I told her it stopped being my problem the night they divided up my future like a garage sale. She had to move back in with our mom. And for the first time in Lauren's life, our mom didn't take her side. Danny's finances got wrecked in discovery. The court saw the hidden credit union money as a dissipation of assets and awarded me a larger share to offset it. Because the refinance was frozen, the house was appraised fresh. Given the circumstances and the baby on the way, I kept the house, and he got his cut from other marital assets. And his January bonus? It vested right after I filed, meaning it was still fully part of the marital estate. I gave birth to my daughter, Emma, in April. Danny wasn't in the room. Our divorce is final now. He has standard visitation, strictly scheduled. He lives in a cramped 2-bedroom apartment near the highway. The funniest part, about a year later, Danny started dating someone new he met at Home Depot. Lauren wasn't invited to that relationship. She's still living with our mom, working part-time. I'm sitting in my kitchen as I type this, in the house they tried to take from me. Emma is asleep upstairs. People ask if I regret not blowing up at them that first night. I don't, because the version of me that stayed quiet for 6 weeks is the reason my daughter has a home, and the reason I never had to beg for what was already mine.